la la la. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Guess who's back? Back again. I told you guys I'd be back. That's it, my freaking. Did you? Am I not going? What the hell? It's the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life. Don't stop. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. Eh. People. Hello, hello, baby, you called, I can hear a thing. I ain't got no service in the club, you said. But did you see how you're freaking up on me? Sorry, I cannot hear you, I'm kinda busy. I'm not popping up for some weird reason. Just a second. Just a second, guys. For some weird reason, I'm not popping up here. No. Huh. That's weird. Oh, let's see here. What's going on? That's weird. Hang on, guys. That is super weird. Super duper weird. Saying I'm live streaming on here. Huh. Saying I'm on here. I can't watch it when it's on. Crazy shit I've ever seen in my life. Alrighty. It's not popping. There we go. What the hell, man? That was so weird to me. What the hell? That took 2.5 minutes? Oh my god. What the hell, man? Okay, guys. So I'm going to be watching car stream chases. Or car chases, I should say. Yeah.
A pumper. That's what they.
Oh my god. I'm gonna bump the speed up because I love
around the back of a house, if you will, an area where they can't get a cement truck. And boy, these guys are busy. There's a lot of them out on the roadway, but that truck's pretty heavy. And we saw the LAPD officer try and do a spike strip.
stolen work truck
coming and swerved out of the way. I don't see any indication
that
any of the tires were punctured by the spike strip. But as long as the suspect stays on Topanga Canyon Boulevard and drives at a slow rate of speed, there's a good chance they're going to try that again. Now, officers are getting out of the vehicle. They're going to try and talk him. It appeared to be a man out of this situation. But as you can see, he's been very indecisive. Not running red lights. We're not seeing really high speed.
I'm gonna
and a huge
bump
danger
it up
to the
a
public
little
in this area.
bit
But
since
obviously,
it's long.
anytime somebody's being pursued like this and they're unwilling to stop, there is a danger to it, and it can be extremely dangerous. But we're not seeing, at least, Tony, high rates of speed, and we're just hoping this individual's going to give himself up here soon.
Right. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, when you have something like this, I mean, if the truck does swerve and it gets here, a patrol car coming up really fast in front of him, you see that, Marcel? We don't see that very often, but a patrol car just came flying up in front of him, open up out of your shot off to the right there. So I think they're going to try and shut down traffic. Don't let it get up to that point and then get another spike strip out. But the suspect's aware of that, and he's turning around. So fortunately, we're not seeing aggressive driving. We've seen the suspect be very indecisive. You can't really do a pit maneuver in a situation like this because it just won't work pulling that pumper behind that truck, and it does appear to be a man and only a man inside the vehicle. So at this point in time, I think if you keep going around in circles like this, they'll be able to stop traffic, get another spike strip out. Once they puncture tires on a vehicle like this, it'll be pretty hard to continue for too long. But there we go, possibly turning around once again. There's another spike strip. Not sure, Tony, maybe you saw that better than I did, but I'm not sure that they actually got him that time either. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it did. I mean, it was a construction worker. You know, I mean, he had his boots on. He had a dark shirt. It looked like it might have matched the Atomic, I think it says on the side of there. And he was walking right up to him. And where that happened isn't going to be far from where he's at right now. We're headed back northbound on Topanga Canyon Boulevard. Once we got up to about Satakoy, the suspect turned around, and that's where that individual walked out to him. It was kind of unusual to see him do that. You can see the patrol cars sliding up behind him right now. Some indecision here. I'm not sure if there's another spike strip in front. and I'm trying to see if this might have been the same spot where that individual came out and tried to talk to the suspect. It's about the same area, and it's really hard to tell. He may be looking out to see if there's anything underneath the vehicle, if the spike strip did actually work or not. And open up a little bit, Marcel, because it's so slow here. I'm just trying to get an idea exactly what LAPD is trying to do. Even open up a little bit more and see what their strategy is. It kind of appears to us, Tony, they may go to tracking. We're hearing that. In which case, what they're going to do is they're just going to let the patrol cars back off, and they're going to let the helicopter follow this individual until he comes to a stop, or he's in an area where they can send in the patrol cars, which seems like a pretty good strategy because, you know, what they can do right now isn't much, and he's driving so slow, it doesn't look like we have much of a danger to the public. So for the moment, and it changes so rapidly, but for the
Wait
moment,
a second, is it mirrored? It is mirrored. Hang on. There we go. No. What the Why is it? What the hell? Okay. Why is it mirrored? That's the weirdest shit I've ever seen. Okay. That shouldn't be mirrored. Why is it mirrored? I don't like how it's mirrored. It bugs the shit out of me when it's mirrored. Figure it out. Hang on, guys. Sorry. Ah, close enough. Why am I frozen? Alright, guys. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, that was really weird. Sorry, guys. Let's continue. Sorry about that, guys.
Marcel, once again, we did hear they were going to go to tracking, but, you know, for the most part, they're still right behind him. So I think they're really trying to decide right now, supervisors watching this, and trying to figure out exactly how they should handle it.
I haven't watched this one. This one's long. I don't know if I should really watch this one.
Yeah.
This one's really long.
Is it atomic? I believe so. The A is written a little weird, but atomic concrete pumping. Open up a little bit more for me, if you would, Marcel. I'm just trying to get an idea what the LAPD is doing. I mean, we see the suspect, but it looks like he's trying to talk to them or talk to someone. And so they've really kept their distance here. I'm not sure if they're going to try and get... Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to try and get ahead of them. You see on the top left portion of your screen, an LAPD officer is going quickly down the...
Maybe not. I won't do that one. Okay.
Pursuit as they...
Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm not gonna do that one. That one's so fucking long. Driver spins out of control, crashes wild LA pursuit. Oh, this one just happened recently.
They try and get this woman off the road again. This vehicle, believed to be a stolen vehicle, possibly a BMW, as she continues down to Topanga Canyon.
Sorry, guys, I'm not.
Through Strathern, coming up on Elkwood Street in Canoga Park, continuing at about 45 to 50 miles per hour, yet more debris falling off of this vehicle. You can see that tire just coming apart there.
Down, bunny.
Oh, losing control into oncoming lanes of traffic, swerving, fishtailing down Topanga Canyon,
Oh,
and
no.
she is really fighting with that steering wheel, trying to regain control here. Sparks coming from that front wheel, and she has no more wheels here. She's skating down Topanga Canyon Boulevard at Santa Croix
no.
Street, now about to come face to face with those LAPD officers as she struggles to maintain control of the vehicle here. All four wheels coming apart on her, and look at those tires. They are just ripped apart, and she is just on, I mean, this is it, but she's got seconds left here as she tries to gas it. She's steering right into the curb, jumps the curb, bam, right into the front rail of that commercial structure. Why not just a little bit? What kind of a business is that? That is going to be Topanga Canyon Boulevard and Covello Street at a commercial structure. She rammed right into the front rail there, coming just short of that light pole. And now this vehicle is probably at its final resting place here. And you can see she is now being commanded to exit the vehicle. We will see if she cooperates. There have been several felony stop attempts during the course of this pursuit. She has refused to cooperate each and every time. However, this time, I think this vehicle is done.
Okay. Oh my god.
After a successful spike strip, all four tires running out of air, and several pit maneuver attempts, she just did not have what it takes to travel at the speed she was trying to gas this vehicle at, and just basically lost control, really fighting with that wheel and just fishtailing all over the place. Thankfully, there was nobody else in her way, and it is a very quiet night here in Canoga Park. Very little traffic to speak of. Nobody else hurt in this pursuit. Just a matter of bringing this to a peaceful resolution as they try and bring the suspect into custody. Again, a female driver behind the wheel of this suspected stolen vehicle.
Oh my god.
That vehicle is all banged up. Can you see the front make and model there, Rob? I'm just trying to get a better. Is it a Toyota maybe?
Looks like a
Toyota
Toyota.
crossover there. Looks like a Toyota emblem. It's hard to tell. You can see both side airbags deployed as she fidgets around behind the wheel there. They cannot see her. We probably have a better view than those cops do, and you can see her now rifling through something in the front seat there. The driver still refusing to come out of the vehicle. LAPD being very patient here as they order her out of the vehicle. You can see those headlights flashing, the windshield wipers wiping, but that vehicle is not going anywhere. She is done. It's just a matter of time. Hopefully, she gives up peacefully.
Oh my gosh. Just get out. Yeah, you knew you fucked up.
Looks like she's almost looks like she's still trying to.
Oh, I haven't. Because I didn't realize I was like zoomed in. I don't know.
What's that? What? Okay.
I'm done. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Yeah. Couldn't tell. Maybe drug paraphernalia. Well, we can see her hands. LAPD cannot see what we are seeing here, but she is clearly doing something. She's reaching into her pocket now, refusing to come out of the vehicle. And as far as I can tell, that driver's side door is intact, so it should open up pretty easily. It's not like she's trapped in the vehicle. She did that again. You can see both airbags deployed on the driver and the passenger side. She is now hunched over the wheel. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that could be. Once again, LAPD with their guns drawn, waiting for her next move here. They just shot non-lethal rounds into the driver's side window. Something was just fired in her direction. That rear driver's side window is now blown out. You can see glass all over the pavement. The next move might actually be a less lethal gas canister. They may smoke her out, potentially, if this goes on much longer. They have now created an entry point in that rear driver's side window.
Oh, jeez.
Driver's side door now popping open. She now appears to be ready to give up. She's going to have to move that airbag out of the way. Hopefully they'll get a good look at her hands. Here's her hands. A water bottle in her right hand as she exits the vehicle. The driver stepping out of the vehicle. She appears to be barefoot, gesturing towards the officers, trying to communicate with her hands clearly visible here. They are instructing her to step in their direction. She is walking towards the officers. They want to see her hands up in the air just like this. She does appear to possibly be under the influence of some sort, but there you see she is now safely in custody, hands behind her back.
Wow. Wow.
LAPD now clearing the vehicle. Looks like it's about to be a code 4. Again, a very unusual end to this pursuit. Thankfully, nobody hurt, but gosh, that's really a stroke of luck because there just wasn't much traffic out there. But if there was, she was all over the road, especially towards the end of this pursuit. Once she lost control of the vehicle, but it did allow them to get 3 good pit maneuvers in there before she finally ran out of air in those tires, finally disabling the vehicle and bringing this pursuit to a safe ending. And that'll do it for our coverage from up here in Air 7. Reporting live from Air 7 over Canoga Park, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Oh my God.
Is chase stolen vehicle suspect in San Bernardino Valley? Oh, jeez. This should be good.
Copy.
Oh my god.
You have a make? Yep.
Howard, he doesn't like to do that. Let me see it.
Speed tracker.
Oh god. How fast are they going? Oh my god. I'm still
Is that
eating.
accurate? That's
Finish up.
no.
No, because we're doing about 7.
Oh jeez.
Yep. What's the next one?
Go take it back out to the kitchen.
Okay. Eva. Christina, go ahead. Copy. How far back are they? Oh, they're right there. Okay. Welcome, everybody, as you join us live on ABC7.com and our 24/7 streaming channels. Chris Christie up in Air 7 as we follow this pursuit in the San Fernando Valley here in Studio City. Traveling eastbound on Ventura Boulevard, now coming to a complete stop after doing really high speeds, trying to evade LAPD. You can see that primary unit right behind him, and it looks like there are multiple people inside this vehicle. The driver, obviously, and then some hands now popping out of the driver's side of the rear seats. You can see at least 2 or 3 people inside this car. Again, he's been doing ridiculous speeds. Started in LAPD's Devonshire division near Chatsworth, and then made his way all the way down to Victory, crossed under the 405, and eventually down into the Sherman Oaks area. And now we are in Studio City at Ventura Boulevard at Laurel Grove Avenue. You can see this pursuit has come to a sudden stop after a number of close calls. Pedestrians running across Ventura Boulevard to evade this pursuit. Again, LAPD now has the vehicle stopped, ready to execute a felony stop at Ventura and Laurel Grove. Officers with their guns drawn, waiting for additional backup to
Oh my
approach this
god.
intersection.
Oh my
Right
god.
now, the suspects remain inside the vehicle. LAPD airship overhead there, the night sun right on him as he is still stopped. Here comes additional backup. Pushing on the vehicle. Passenger seat, you see anything? At least 3. Copy. You got it. Studio City. Yeah, that's right, David. This high-speed chase coming to a sudden stop right along Ventura Boulevard at Laurel Grove Avenue in Studio City. LAPD has the vehicle stopped. He stopped very randomly here after doing extreme speeds in excess of 70 to 80 miles per hour down Ventura Boulevard. This started in LAPD's Devonshire Division, eventually made his way down to Victory, crossed under the 405, all the way down to Sherman Oaks along Sepulveda, and
Oh my
eventually
God.
here in Studio City, where backup is now arriving. Officers with their guns drawn, ready to execute a felony stop here at Ventura and Laurel Grove. We're going to continue to keep an eye on this chase. Reporting live from Mayor 7, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Oh my God.
That's right. The driver is now stepping out of the vehicle. He is the main culprit here. It is believed to be a stolen vehicle, but we can tell, at least from our vantage point, it appears that there are at least 2 other passengers inside the car. You see a pair of hands out the passenger side window, and then another set of hands coming from the rear of the vehicle. Unknown if there's possibly even a 4th person in there, but at least 3 people about to be extracted from this vehicle. The driver now out on the pavement, proned out.
Oh,
They will
let me
approach
see
him
your phone real
methodically here in
quick.
just a second. You know the drill, David. This could take a couple of minutes as they continue to give these guys instructions step by step. And here comes the passenger now stepping out of the vehicle. Hands up in the air. He will also be proned out momentarily until this threat is mitigated. They will not declare a code 4 until that vehicle is
Oh.
empty. Right now, Ventura Boulevard completely shut down here in Studio City as
Let me
they
see
bring
my
this
phone
chase
real
to a
quick.
peaceful resolution.
No one tests you.
Really did.
It's
Oh.
going to be Laurel Grove at Ventura Boulevard. Yep, and you're right. There's been quite a few people, especially on foot, a few people on foot running across Ventura Boulevard trying to evade this chase.
Fine, be a brat. It's 8 o'clock, you should be in bed. Why don't you have pajamas on? It's 8 o'clock.
Babe. Babe, come get her. Grab my phone from her.
I'm watching a video.
Let me see how much longer it is. How much longer is it? Chloe, how much longer is it? Okay, 6 more minutes and you put the phone down.
Again, if you're watching us online, we have a 3rd passenger now being extracted from the vehicle, stepping out of the passenger seat, the rear seat there. Now a total of 3 people prone
Oh,
down on
God.
Ventura Boulevard here at Laurel Grove Avenue. It appears this pursuit is over, and they will
Did
bring
you put
us,
some
they'll
out
bring at least
filming yet?
several officers up here
Yeah.
to arrest each one of these. The arrest team right there in the top left-hand corner of your screen, they most likely will be the ones to approach these 3 suspects one by one. Matt, go ahead. Copy that. Here comes the arrest team, and as we said, one by one, they will each be taken into custody after a high-speed pursuit through the San Fernando Valley, coming to a very sudden and apparently random stop at the intersection of Ventura Boulevard and Laurel Grove. Again, traffic shut down in both directions along Ventura Boulevard. Quiet night on Ventura, but several pedestrians in the final moments of this pursuit running out of the way as they heard the sirens blaring up Ventura Boulevard. This vehicle at times doing speeds in excess of 70 miles per hour on Ventura. Again, coming to a random stop right here at the intersection, and now appears 3 people are in custody. The trunk has been cleared. A code 4 has now been declared, and they will reopen Ventura Boulevard here momentarily. But this pursuit has come to a peaceful resolution. Thankfully, nobody hurt in this one.
Do-do-do-do. It's okay.
To a point where there were some dead-end streets. Also not
Oh. Woman runs after police chase comes to an end in Long Beach.
they managed to sort of outmaneuver police officers. From this vantage point, we can't see any officers on the tail. Oh, there's one car right there with a second behind it. So you can see there are probably about a half a dozen police cruisers following single file behind this vehicle, some sort of maroon sedan that was stolen in the South LA area sometime earlier tonight. They've been following it for about half an hour now. You can see this vehicle is now slowing down as it goes over some speed bumps, making its way through narrow streets, still evading police officers. When it starts to slow down like this, you begin to wonder if the driver is perhaps going to bail out. Often in these situations, we see drivers go to areas that are familiar to them. You can see it's now picking up speed again, going about 40 miles an hour, making some sharp turns right there. That light that you see over top, that's from the LA airship that is following it. So police seem to be pretty close on their tail here. Unclear how this is all going to end. Let me just check in on some emails here, see if we're getting any more updates from police. We have confirmed that this is believed to be a stolen vehicle. Unclear how many people may be inside this sedan at the time. Going roughly 60 miles an hour now. We're still in the area of Long Beach. Is that correct? We believe this to be in Long Beach. Now you see that this driver is steering clear of any freeways and seems to be sticking to mostly surface streets here, driving up on the sidewalk, it appears now, now through this intersection. So this is where things are starting to get a little more outlandish. This driver clearly trying to evade police cruisers that are directly on its tail. Police keeping somewhat of a safe distance there, so they're not immediately up on that vehicle, but they're not giving up on this stolen vehicle. This driver's not ready to give up yet either. The car seems to be moving just fine. They've not tried any pit maneuvers, don't look to be laying down any sort of spike strips. And right now we are steering clear of any freeways. So it's a Saturday evening. People are out and about in the area, but so far we have not seen it maneuver its way through any real congested areas. So we're just watching this maroon stolen sedan making its way through Long Beach streets, now picking up some speed here. This is the fastest we've seen it go since we've been on the air over the past 5 minutes or so. As I mentioned to you earlier, before we began following this chase, it was going at a pretty high rate of speed. When it was maneuvering its way through its streets, got down into the 20s. So this driver does not seem to be too concerned with the police officers who are on its tail and certainly not ready to give up. Going through an intersection there directly into, oh no, it appeared as though that was a parking lot. Still on the right side of the road, so not pulling any maneuvers where it's going into oncoming traffic, although it does not appear to be abiding by any sort of traffic laws. It's unclear if this car is running any red lights, but it's certainly not coming to a stop, making a left across the oncoming lanes of traffic there. This is a more narrow street, but seems to be just sort of winding its way through neighborhoods in the Long Beach area, evading officers that are close on its tail. Police are certainly not ready to give up on this. This is a stolen vehicle, stolen out of the South LA area, but because we know that drivers tend to go to a place that's familiar to them, we wonder why this person is sort of concentrated in this Long Beach area and clearly not eager to get out of the neighborhood, Jory.
Yeah, Jory Rand joining Liz Nagy as we continue to follow this pursuit through Long Beach, right now making a left from Northwood and Caldwell onto 165th Street. And you can see this guy, there's a
this is the closest we've seen a cruiser come to this car while we've been on the air here.
In pursuit, and you have to watch those speed bumps as they go through these residential streets. If you take those too high, you are going to make contact with your bumper to the concrete. We have seen this driver kind of take these wild left turns through oncoming traffic, even if it is for just a brief moment, but traveling at excessive speeds at times on roads that really should not be traveled at this time. It's a Saturday night. People could be out. It does seem pretty quiet in this residential area, which is a good thing for those who live there. They could be in imminent danger with a car driving through this area right here. But you can see that bright burst of blue light from those pursuing officers lighting up Cliveden and Caldwell. This is at Cliveden Avenue right now.
And we now know this driver has made his way into the Compton area. This is a car that police have been pursuing for roughly a half an hour now. They believe that car to be stolen. Unclear how many people are inside the vehicle, but obviously at least one who has pulled some of these wild maneuvers, making very sharp and wide left turns into oncoming traffic, at one point driving up onto a sidewalk. We've not really seen this car come into contact or any close calls with any other vehicles.
Hit the dip. Yeah, hit the dip
Hit the
right
dip
there.
in the road right there. And we've seen this, because this car is mostly stuck to residential areas, it has been going over a lot of speed bumps, even just in the last few minutes or so.
Right, you get the bumps and then you get the gullies that we all know if we don't see them coming and we take them at a little bit too high of a speed, it's going to cause some potential damage to your car. So now riding over these speed humps with some speed, you can see it, the back end bounce after each one. That one a little bit slower, but still significant bouncing from that car. Now onto a side, really small residential street here, Center Ave. Turning off of Caldwell and onto Center Avenue. And you can see that night sun from the pursuing airship, the helicopter that is tracking this now through another gully. You can see the police cruisers have to really slow down for those. Again, those can be even more damaging than the speed bumps or the speed humps through these residential areas. Those little gullies, those washouts can really hit your vehicle really hard.
And you can see there are about at least a half a dozen LAPD cruisers. They seem to be going in single file. At this point, you can see on the road no other vehicles, which is kind of miraculous. As Jory was saying, given that it's a busy Saturday night, we still believe we're in the Compton area at this point. The car seems to be steering clear of any freeways, just sort of evading these officers and maneuvering around city streets. Sometime around 9:25, we do know that LAPD requested a spike strip or pit authorization, but we've not seen any of that happen in the last 20 minutes or so. And maybe we can pull that video up. The most outlandish thing we've seen this driver pull was this just a few minutes ago, about 55 miles an hour drive up on the sidewalk, evading some of the other cars that appeared to be stopped at a stop sign, driving on the sidewalk for a brief period of time, then re-entering this intersection before proceeding. Police officers did not follow the car up onto the sidewalk during all of this, but as you can see, the spotlight from the airship overhead the entire time. This car has not been able to outmaneuver police, and they have not pulled any maneuvers trying to ultimately get this car to stop. They just appear to be giving it its distance at certain points.
Yeah, traveling eastbound, it looks like on Greenleaf. Now at Greenleaf in Santa Fe, making a right turn. That should be southbound onto Santa Fe. So now traveling southbound on Santa Fe Avenue.
Which is where this all began roughly 20 minutes ago or so, was traveling southbound on the Santa
That's 6 minutes. Come on, grab gas.
Santa Fe, approaching the 405 freeway in South LA. So this car's not looking to go jump on the freeway and make any distance.
Wow.
Just sort of making laps around some familiar neighborhoods, it seems.
Whether they're trying to get away or just buy themselves some time, we don't know. That was a green light now under the underpass here. You can see traffic moving pretty. Yeah, pretty nicely on a Saturday night. Not much to talk about in terms of traffic on the freeways, if that becomes another factor, or here as this driver continues on side streets through this Compton neighborhood. But there is wide open road here. You just hope that it doesn't hit a red light at the wrong time, at a pedestrian, at a car, at some kind of cross traffic, but wide open in both directions as this car continues to careen down Santa Fe Avenue, now approaching Victoria Street.
And we're seeing an update from our assignment desk here. The reason that it looked like that car drove up on the sidewalk just a few minutes ago, we pointed that out to you a few different times.
He needs to grow up.
Appeared to be evading a spike strip, which I did not catch in that video when I was watching it live. So I guess police did try and lay down a spike strip. That car was able to outmaneuver it, drive on the sidewalk straight through the intersection, and keep going. That was easily 10 to 15 minutes ago at this point. That was that maneuver.
Did they just pull it? Oh, this is the video of the spike strip on the right, and on the left is the live picture. Again, now I believe they were on Victoria. It's tough to see, but really burned by that night sun. They have them fully in their view right now, and the pursuing officers were trying to get the exact pursuing division and where we are going here. But another turn now. Long
Some
Beach
PJs
Boulevard
on, Chloe.
at Cambridge. Long Beach Boulevard, another major thoroughfare now turning off onto
You want
Allington.
some help?
So this is Allington just off of Long Beach Boulevard.
Okay,
As we watch
let
these
me
pursuits, we're often sort of looking for
finish
something
this
of, you know,
video
what
real
can we
quick
pick
and
out
then
about
I'll
this
help
vehicle? Are
you.
you able to see anybody inside the vehicle? Anything that might be identifying about all of this? And this has really sort of been the driver, you know, vacillating between speeds of roughly 30 miles an hour up to about 75, but nothing of real note here. Now this driver appears to be on another residential street, a pretty dark one at this point, but as you keep mentioning, Jory, lit up by the light of that police airship overhead.
Yeah, Barclay Street looks like it's going to take it over to White Avenue. We'll see if it's where I think it is. It should dead end over at White Avenue, Dameron and North Long Beach. Again, this is back into residential areas. I think we might have just been in this similar neighborhood because you see that curve right there. That is pretty atypical of what we've seen in some of these suburban areas, and now turning back again off of Dameron, back onto Ron Avenue.
And it looks like at times that this car is about to end up in a neighborhood that looks to be a cul-de-sac or perhaps a dead end. And it appears as though the driver has a pretty good sense of these city streets because they keep being able to outmaneuver police here, not ending up in any area where they're forced to come to a sudden stop. This car's going a pretty low rate of speed at this point and does not seem to be concerned or show any signs of stopping with the officers close on the tail there.
Yeah, you see
Now you
people
can see
now.
some people gathering out in the neighborhood, so clearly this has garnered some attention. This is the most activity we've seen.
Now pulling back out, if they make a right, this is Long Beach Boulevard, another U-turn. Now we're going the other way back on Long Beach Boulevard. And so this is this little neighborhood here. It's on either side of Long Beach Boulevard, just by the LA River. And I believe now traveling back southbound on Long Beach Boulevard.
And again, Saturday night here, you would think there might be a lot more traffic out, people out and about. It's 9 or almost 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. Now this car's making U-turns, but really has not been, you know, caught in traffic at any point or having to pull any real crazy maneuvers to try and get around oncoming traffic or avoid other cars in the area. Now pulling down some sort of side alleyway. We saw this happen just a little while ago before we came on the air. It appeared things were going to come to an end, and the car just keeps turning, evading officers.
And there you see an officer pull right in front of this car.
That box it in there.
Could have boxed it in or maybe getting ahead, pulling over. Now we'll see if they get out and pull a spike strip here. Okay, that driver's going to turn through a parking lot and avoid that cruiser, back through an alleyway, now the other way. Moves like this kind of make me think that this person does know this neighborhood, and we're coming to a stop now. Driver is getting out and running.
Yeah.
Two, we see another person. There's a passenger in the car right now. It's tough to tell. Is that a woman?
It's difficult to tell whether that's a male or female, but that person is taking off running at a pretty good speed, clearly trying to avoid officers. It appears as though that's a woman, though it's difficult to tell from this angle. Because we've seen this person maneuvering around city streets for the better part of 20 minutes now, you have to believe that this person has some sense of where they are now, sprinting down this alley.
Being lit up by that night sun. There's we'll see if there's some place that they tried to hide, but right now in the middle of the alley, going to go through a fence, and there's a pursuing officer, 1, 2, possibly 3, through a yard. This is not going to last long, and yep, she knows it.
Game of tag, that person is pinned down.
Okay, so one of those occupants of the car now in custody. This should be the driver. There was a second person. We'll find out the driver's seat behind this person. There were at least 2 people in that vehicle. We'll see if our camera operator is able to find what is happening with that second person, but they had a delayed start to get out of that vehicle, less time to get away than this person had, and this person is now in custody. We'll see at least at least two people who are in this vehicle are now in custody, in handcuffs, being walked back to a police car.
And this all began as a pursuit in the South LA area about 9:15 this evening, went on for about 45 minutes. Police believe that car that this person was driving, that red sedan, to have been stolen.
Yeah, so you think about on a Saturday night, people just think they're going to go out for a joyride in a car that's not theirs. They get to spend the night in jail and face multiple charges here, potentially, life-changing mistake that someone makes to make a terrible decision, and look at where they are now, about to head in cuffs into the back of a police cruiser.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens with the other person who was inside that vehicle. It was unclear for most of that pursuit if this was just a driver, if there were perhaps multiple people inside that car. It appeared, as you said, Jory, that we saw at least one other person leap out of that vehicle, take off in a different direction. So you have to imagine there's an entire other team of officers out there, either searching for that person or perhaps taking that person into custody.
Yeah, is it possible to check and see if we see a second scene here? Anyone else in custody? It shouldn't be too far away. That was just about we see those cruisers over there. That is where that vehicle came to a stop. And
but the trunk popped open, so clearly they're searching this vehicle now. It's difficult to tell if there's anybody else there. It doesn't appear.
No, there it is right there. That's the second person.
Okay.
That is the passenger right there. So 2 people now in custody. This is not the blue sweatshirted individual.
That is a different person.
Yep, so this is someone else. 2 people, 2 occupants of this vehicle bailed, and both are now in custody. Vehicle appears to be cleared. I don't know if there was anybody else, so we don't know if this is a code 4, all clear just yet. But as far as we know, the 2 people that we saw emerge from that vehicle both appear to be in custody.
Both who had taken off on foot trying to evade officers, both now caught. We're going to continue to watch the situation, and we'll be back on the air in just about 30 minutes on ABC7.
This has been breaking news on
Oh, it's time for bed. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh my God. Damn. My God. Oh my God. Go get pajamas on now. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Just give me like 2 minutes. Come on, clock. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay.
What? What? I will look at it later. Put somebody on the. I don't care what. You just need to wait. I'm going to go to bed. That's tomorrow. Over, please. That's Chloe? I heard it to you. Stop yelling. Switch for a little bit. Or do you want to switch for a bit?
Just wait.
Give her the switch for a bit then. What? What is it for?
Jason,
What is it for?
look at the front desk.
Hmm.
Oh, ASAP.
Lay down. Oh.
BC7.com and our 24/7 streaming channels. Chris Christie up in Air 7 over a pursuit in the San Gabriel Valley, California Highway Patrol, trying to catch up with that Ford Raptor, a black Ford Raptor pickup truck, completely blacked out. There is a CHP helicopter.
Of course it's
Actually,
blacked out. Why wouldn't
is it
it be?
CHP or LAPD? The hell. CHP has just taken over the pursuit from the air. LAPD's helicopter has turned around. CHP's helicopter now overhead. You'll occasionally see a night sun in the shot here as he's turned off of Rosemead onto Garvey Avenue, weaving around traffic here. You can see lightly traveled Garvey Avenue as he tries to make his way around here. This is a suspected stolen vehicle with cold plates. The plates do not match the vehicle, and he has refused to pull over, although it's unclear what the original want was. You can see him still traveling eastbound on Garvey Avenue.
He does not give a
Unclear how many people are inside this vehicle, guys, but you can see him making a left northbound turn onto Santa Anita, possibly. We're trying to catch up with this guy. He is flying through the San Gabriel Valley, and you can see very, very dark out here. We're actually relatively low because of the ceiling out here, so we're trying to get a glimpse of him through the buildings and through the trees as he travels underneath the freeway here. Now at Amador and Santa Anita, traveling northbound on Santa Anita Avenue.
I just thought you wanted to lay down, Adia.
That pickup truck continuing at a high rate of speed through these intersections here. Still on Santa Anita Avenue, passing Valley Boulevard. Now, there were LAPD units behind this pursuit. This all started in the San Fernando Valley. LAPD picking this up in the Foothill area, ending up on the 170 freeway, and took him all the way down to the 101, eventually into the East LA interchange, and he took the 60 freeway all the way out to the 605 in a pretty short amount of time, doing at times triple-digit speeds in excess of 100 to 110 miles per hour. And if you know anything about these pickup trucks, you know that that Ford Raptor does not get very good gas mileage. At the speeds he's traveling, he's lucky to get 10 to 12 miles per gallon, but he is now slowing down a little bit, still Santa Anita Avenue, pulling up on McGurk, slowing down slightly as he continues with his lights off, headlights and taillights blacked out. No units behind this suspect right now, but they are continuing to track him from above. Again, that California Highway Patrol has taken over the air duties from the LAPD just moments ago. Making a quick eastbound turn there onto Hondo Parkway. Still no sign of law enforcement as they continue to track him through the San Gabriel Valley, again onto Hondo Parkway into a residential neighborhood. Coming towards us now here in El Monte as he continues up this residential street. There's that night sun trying to track him there. You can see CHP pointing straight down at him as he turns onto Tyler Avenue, continuing westbound now. He's coming towards us, yep. Yep, no worries. Yeah, no worries. Yep, all good. Pickup truck coming to a stop here, possibly a cul-de-sac, putting it in reverse, coming really close to that parked car there. Looks like he's going to try and park it. Ooh, jumping the curb, pulling up right in front of a box truck,
is he doing?
a U-turn.
Oh my
Again, he doesn't
god.
have much pressure on him here. There are no law enforcement units pursuing him right now, but he is completely blacked out in a dark residential neighborhood at a dead end as he tries to get out of this pickle, trying to find an outlet out of this neighborhood. Again, we are in this El Monte neighborhood around Arrowwood Street and Ansel Place. And he's still doing about double the speed limit on these residential streets, about 60 miles per hour through these houses. Now turning on to Tyler. Still waiting for any sign of law enforcement. Right now, we have not seen anybody behind him in quite some time. LAPD was able to hand this off to the California Highway Patrol as he made his way through the East LA interchange and eventually onto the 60 freeway. That's where they handed it off. CHP did pick it up, but it does look like they have canceled this pursuit on the ground, but continuing to track him from the air. Northbound 2nd Avenue, coming into Arcadia here in the next mile or so. Get a better glimpse of him here as he starts to pick up more speed here. Still doing about double the speed limit up 2nd Avenue. Really very little traffic out here this evening. You can see not a lot of cars to contend with. He's continuing to blow through red lights, though, at a pretty fast clip without even braking, hardly any braking as he sped through that last intersection here. It's continuing northbound 2nd Avenue into Arcadia now, coming up on the 210 freeway shortly.
That's a middle phone?
What color is this?
The stem bed. It's green, I think.
Northbound 2nd Avenue through Huntington Drive, continuing northbound here through Arcadia.
I think
The
it's
210 freeway is about 2 or 3 more traffic lights, but it looks like he's deciding to make a turn here, making a right turn. It's going to be eastbound Santa Clara Street.
You know what color the top is?
I thought that was green too. I don't know.
No.
He's about to go, I believe, under the 210. He already went under. That was the 210 overpass there. Now making a northbound turn away from the freeway.
Switch to the grocery store with first.
Why?
Still completely blacked out, and it's dark out here. You can see him still
Super
speeding up
busy?
Monterey Avenue here towards Colorado Boulevard. Again, heading away from the freeway towards the foothills. Kind of all these turns
So-
appear to be very, very random.
The green is. The top is green.
I don't know.
And it looks like the vehicle's come to a stop, making another U-turn.
What's this mommy?
Now heading back eastbound Colorado Boulevard. He's going to be paralleling the 210 freeway here. You wonder if he's going to look for an opportunity to get back on the freeway and make his way eventually back towards the city. It's unclear, highly unclear where he resides or where this vehicle originates or where he is intending to go here. Really no clear destination, but we know that he picked this up in the San Fernando Valley. But right now he's heading absolutely in the opposite direction from the San Fernando Valley eastbound through the San Gabriel Valley instead. So if he's got a destination in mind, certainly it's not apparent to us. And judging from what we're hearing on the radios here, they don't seem to have a whole lot of intel on this guy either. But it also doesn't appear that they're very dedicated to this. You know, they've given it up on the ground already. They're really just tracking him from above at a safe distance to try and figure out where he ends up. But right now there is no law enforcement in place. Even if he was to come to a stop and get out of the vehicle, he would likely walk away from this without any problems. Again, LAPD abandoned this once they left the city's jurisdiction, and then California Highway Patrol just didn't like the speeds, I think, and they decided to pull back as well. They may let the local authorities know here, but LA County Sheriff likely monitoring this pursuit, but in all likelihood, they're going to track him to the end and then eventually get an address and gather whatever details they can from the helicopter before they file their paperwork here. But it doesn't look like there's any effort to bring this suspect into custody.
Oh my god. Is that
What?
The switch is making sounds.
Huh. I don't know what to do about that
Royal Oaks
there.
and Oak.
Wait just a minute.
Wait. Is there 2 vehicles involved, or
Yeah,
am
we're in
I
the
just seeing
Duarte
shit?
area here. He's continuing into a very heavily wooded neighborhood, making some random right turns. Not traveling terribly fast here. Now pulling back
Maybe
onto
I'm just
Royal Oaks
seeing
Drive.
shit.
Actually on the wrong side of the road here, fixing for another
Oh
right
no.
turn. Doesn't want to get caught up in another dead end. He's making a lot of U-turns for no apparent reason. For somebody who really doesn't know where they want to go, he seems to be
Right.
second-guessing himself a lot for no reason. Again, there's nobody behind him, so it's not like he's trying to escape anybody. He's just making a lot of last-minute decisions. Obviously well aware of that helicopter overhead, and that night sun is having the effect of agitating him. It's making him think twice and trying to figure out probably where he wants to hide out, whether he gives up or whether he tries to hide the vehicle somewhere else. Who knows? But it's honestly anybody's guess what's going through his mind. Again, we don't even know how many people are inside this truck. Northbound Braywood. Another dead end,
Oh.
another cul-de-sac.
Oh no.
Turning
Oh.
around.
Where are the cops at? Where are they at?
Yep.
Where are they at? They gotta be close
Three-point
by,
turn,
right?
and there he is. So he's going to try and make his way
Oh,
probably back out of this neighborhood. He's probably going to try and
Oh no, they wouldn't
stay
be.
away from these residential blocks. I mean, he's had so much opportunity
Oh, fuck
to
all the
really
cops.
just lay low. And he was slowing down for a little bit until that
Oh
night
my
sun was right
God.
over him. But he's really not showing any intention of stopping here. And again, there's no law enforcement around him. Whether he realizes
I'm
that
gonna
or
hop off
not
here.
is
I'm
another
not
story. But he
feeling well.
obviously is aware of that helicopter. Every time that night sun is pointed in his direction, we see a little bit of a change in
I'll see,
behavior
okay?
behind the wheel.
I'll see what time it is
Whether
when
he
I'm
speeds
done,
up or
okay?
makes a random turn or whatever the case may be. Just kind of making this up as he goes along, zigzagging his way through these foothill communities.
What's the 37?
Looks like he's in a looks like an unpaved alleyway. And that's going to put him onto Lemon Avenue at the end of this. Here he comes out onto Lemon Avenue and a left turn westbound on Lemon Avenue. CHP's helicopter still overhead. And picking up a lot more speed now, doing about 70 miles per hour on Lemon Avenue through this quiet neighborhood. California Highway Patrol now bringing in the help of the LA County Sheriff's Department. We expect that their helicopter will probably take this over or enter the scene here shortly. And you can see this this heavy truck not handling some of these speed bumps and bumps in the road very well. He's really bouncing around. When he's traveling at these speeds, you can bet that truck is not the most comfortable ride. Another right turn, and that looks like, is that Colorado up? Colorado Boulevard, 70 miles per hour down Colorado Boulevard.
Oh my God.
Still, yeah, nobody behind him. Nobody behind him.
Dude. One second.
Well, this is quite the joyride, and I think the only thing that's going to stop this guy is his gas tank. I don't think he's, I mean, who knows how much gas he started with, but
Right.
I don't see him really, I don't know if he's under the influence or if he's just...
Crash. Karma. Karma. Fucking crash, bitch. Just crash. It's nighttime. Crash.
Out on
Jesus.
Green
I hope karma bites you in the ass, dude. Oh my God.
Copy that. California Highway Patrol still applying pressure on the suspect. The night sun right through those trees here. I'm not sure if the vehicle's come to a stop, or is he doing another U-turn?
Oh my
Backing up
god.
into a driveway
Oh
and
god.
yet another
Did
U-turn.
he just back into
Or is he doing
something?
another U-turn?
Oh, he
Backing up
did.
into
He
a driveway
backed.
and yet another U-turn.
Oh my god. Dude. The fuck are you doing? No, don't have your lights on. Risk crashing into shit, dumbass. God. Oh my god. Dude, no. See, 40. Should start streaming earlier, but wait, I did.
Your video.
Another 20 minutes. It's almost done, baby, I promise.
Is he? Okay, I got you. I see what you're saying. Yep. He's going into the mountains now. Northbound Alta Vista Avenue. So Hillcrest ended there at Alta Vista Avenue, making a northbound turn, a right turn. That's going to send him further up into the mountains and away from our purview here. Again, there's a very low cloud ceiling here this evening. A lot of moisture in the air, very difficult to see. The California Highway Patrol helicopter is hovering right over him at probably no more than 400 feet, trying to get that night sun through the trees and keep an eye on the suspect. Very difficult work, but they are doing their level best to try and keep some kind of a visual on him. And basically doing what we're doing up here. We're staying closer to the 210 freeway where it is much safer, but you can see he's kind of traversing his way through these very upscale foothill communities right now on Alta Vista Avenue at Scenic Drive. Air 7 News Desk.
Oh my god. Just hang on, kiddo. Yes, kiddo. 20 minutes.
No. I'm running.
Go to him. I'll be with you in a few minutes. I just gotta finish my stream, okay? I'll come sit with you in a few minutes.
Why not connect to it?
When I'm done streaming, I'll bring it to you, okay?
She's talking.
Oh my god.
Is he in front or behind?
Oh,
my window or her
God.
window? Copy.
No.
Once again, if you're just joining us on ABC7.com and our 24/7 streaming channels, Chris Christie up in Air 7 as we continue to track the stolen black Ford Raptor, refusing to pull over for the LAPD. Eventually, they handed it off to the California Highway Patrol along the 60 freeway in the San Gabriel Valley, all the way out to El Monte, where finally California Highway Patrol gave this pursuit up. They are now relying on that helicopter overhead to track his movements and probably eventually catch up with this suspect. Again, it is believed to be a stolen vehicle. He's driving very recklessly with his lights blacked out, continuing to
Of
blow
course he
through
is, because he's being stupid.
red lights and stop signs and really showing no regard for any of the traffic rules here. Fortunately, this evening we have not seen much in the way of car traffic, not a whole lot of pedestrian traffic in these residential neighborhoods at this time of the night, especially as he makes his way back towards the 210 freeway after getting lost up in the foothills near Bradbury in the Duarte area. He's kind of been bouncing around up here and traversing Colorado Boulevard, now heading southbound on Myrtle Avenue at Montana Street. Again, heading back towards the 210 freeway, where he will have the opportunity to get on the freeway at some point here. Actually, it looks like he just bypassed that opportunity. So he went under the 210 and is now continuing southbound Myrtle. Again, this all started in LAPD's Foothill Division up in the San Fernando Valley on surface streets as he crosses over the tracks here, making a left turn onto Railroad Avenue, or Duarte Road. Nope. FM1. Booth, you up? Hey, Booth, I've got you. Copy that. A Ford Raptor. Here we go. Hospital.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, take yourself to the hospital. I think you need some mental help. Go to a mental hospital. Get some help. Oh, is that a cop? Oh, yeah, look like one. I don't know. How is this guy not crashed yet?
Ooh, stuck at the train tracks.
Oh, no.
Has run afoul at this point of a train, a railroad crossing. Looks like a metro train. Let's get more from Chris Christie in Air 7. Chris.
Hey there, Mark. This guy's going on a real joyride, and really for no particular reason. Right now, there is no law enforcement on this suspect. However, it is believed to be a cold-plated vehicle that was in pursuit by the LAPD out of their Foothill Division. He led them on a high-speed chase through the San Fernando Valley, down the 170 freeway, over to the 101, through the Cahuenga Pass into Hollywood, down to the East LA interchange, and eventually all the way out to El Monte, where LAPD handed the pursuit off to California Highway Patrol, and eventually CHP just decided to let it go. He was traveling way too fast with his lights blacked out. You can see his headlights and his taillights completely dark. We don't know how many people are inside this vehicle, but again, it's a cold-plated Ford Raptor, so that plate does not match the truck, and so they believe it's probably a stolen vehicle, and they decided, let's just call in the airship. They handed it off to the CHP airship, and they have been tracking him ever since. Once in a while, you will see that night sun shine the light on him, but every time they shine that night sun on this suspect, it seems to have the effect of agitating him even more and driving more dangerously. He's driving much safer when he doesn't have any pressure on him. There you see a glimmer of that night sun as he parallels the 210 freeway on Duarte Road. He's been bouncing around these foothill communities between Monrovia, Duarte, Bradbury, Arcadia, really with no clear destination in mind, just kind of making this up as he goes along, and every once in a while, for good measure, he will pull a random U-turn in the middle of the street. We have seen a number of those, such as the one that you saw as we came on the air at the Metro tracks. He had every opportunity to just wait that train out. And look at this. For the first time in a half hour, we now have a local municipality about to engage with him once again, making the U-turn and now trying to catch up with this guy underneath the 210 freeway mark. He is now back in pursuit by one of these local agencies out here. I don't know which police department that is, but he had his lights and sirens blaring as this guy sped towards the 210, under the 210 freeway, and now we'll see if backup is on the way. But now they have a local jurisdiction pursuing the suspect, and you see just how low that CHP, is it CHP or LAPD? No, LAPD has now taken this over again from the air. So that LAPD air support helicopter right over the suspect, no more than a couple hundred feet above him, as we continue to navigate a relatively low cloud layer here this evening. A lot of moisture in the air, very crowded airspace up here as he continues now northbound on Lemon Avenue, or California Avenue, I should say.
All right, and he is proceeding now, and is that ground unit still behind him, or has it backed off? The one that he passed
Pull
by.
back a little bit. I don't want to lose him, Robbie, but if you could tell, it looks like he's still back there, but he's about a quarter mile back, not exactly doing the same speeds as the suspect, who's now kind of weaving his way through here, maybe looking for an opportunity. Now, I got to tell you, Mark, he's had every opportunity tonight to just dump this car if it's not his, hide out in a parking garage, or just park the car. He would have gotten away with this by now. Nobody would have bothered him. But he's continuing on this joyride, just weaving his way through these communities, and he has not managed to lose the attention of the airships overhead. Again, LAPD, California Highway Patrol, and even the LA County Sheriff's Department have been monitoring this pursuit and tracking this guy all the way up into the foothills here. Now he's making his way back through another quiet neighborhood here where there's going to be even more dead ends, and we've already seen him pull into a number of cul-de-sacs, and he just makes the U-turn and continues the ride, and it really, you don't know whether he's under the influence or what's motivating this guy, but again, it's certainly not any pressure coming from law enforcement, because there is nobody around him except for now this new local agency with 2 patrol cars trying to catch up with him.
And again, this is a vehicle that has cold plates, and that's police jargon for plates that don't match the vehicle, plates that have been lifted from another car or vehicle and that have been placed on this truck, and which arouses, of course, immediate suspicion. That I believe in itself is a criminal act, and it can be used to try to conceal other criminal acts. So they want to get this. It could be a stolen vehicle, it could be a stolen truck. Now they're trying to catch. Where'd he go? There he goes. Now, interesting, the range on this thing. You talked earlier before we came on the air about how the only limit to this may be his range, how much gas he has. Well, it's got a 36-gallon fuel tank, and it can go between 500 to 650 miles on a full tank of gas. If so, this could be a very long pursuit if that's the only way that he ends up giving up, by running out of gas. But what you've been noticing is that he goes into these dead ends, like as you see in the video on the right from earlier, in the upper San Gabriel Valley. He got kind of trapped in a residential neighborhood, had to turn around. Not an easy thing. It's a big truck, takes up a lot of space, hard to do. So he's made some of those maneuvers throughout this process, and ran through a fence, as you see there, going up that alley. That's video from about 15 minutes ago. Again, that was in the San Gabriel Valley. He's kind of been sticking to this area, but you see the speeds that he's on, that he's going now on this main street. This is Foothill Boulevard, is that correct?
Yeah, Foothill Boulevard, now 3 units behind him, including an unmarked vehicle in the middle, and now that is provoking him to really push the pedal to the metal here, doing speeds in excess of 70 miles per hour down Foothill Boulevard,
It's almost
blowing through
9.
red lights, closer to 90 miles per hour as he tries to create a little bit of distance and exit this jurisdiction. He picked the wrong town, and now he's trying to just kind of get away and fly into the night here. Again, you've got 3 units behind him, but they're going to have to pull back, especially at these speeds. You can see they've already fallen back a little bit, and that's been a trend. The speeds have been extreme at times, Mark, which is going to affect his gas mileage. I mean, at times, as he was making his way out to the San Gabriel Valley on the 60 freeway, he was doing in excess of 150 miles per hour. When we first caught wind of this pursuit, he was on the 170, and by the time we caught up with him, he was already in El Monte. So he traveled quite a bit of distance in a very short amount of time, and that is going to bleed a lot of fuel efficiency out of that probably best case scenario V6, a probably Eco V6 model, as you mentioned, 10 to 12 miles per hour at the very most, doing the speeds and just gassing it the way he has, using up a lot of horsepower and just trying to, again, create distance between him and now this new package of pursuit units. I just don't know the agency involved. It might have been Duarte, it might have been somebody else, but he is now out of that jurisdiction. I don't know. It looks like they might have pulled back as well. He is now continuing westbound Foothill Boulevard.
Westbound Foothill Boulevard. It seems like he slowed down just a little bit, which is good news. You don't want, whenever there's a traffic light here, the potential for cross traffic, of course, is there. He has blown through, like this red light he's just done right here. He's blown through quite a few of those just since we've been on the air. And the potential for a collision, it would be catastrophic for the other vehicle. This is a big, heavy pickup truck, and you certainly don't want him colliding with another vehicle. So that is
You're not
something
getting
that's part of the
it.
calculus as officers decide, a sergeant or someone of rank will decide
Do you
whether
want the
to continue
TV?
to
You can have the
pursue, whether to
TV
back
for a
off,
little bit.
or how to continue with this. As far as we know, it's a possible stolen vehicle. We don't know for sure, but it has the wrong license plates on it, which leads us to believe, and law enforcement to believe, that it may have in fact been stolen. Unknown number of people on board this Ford Raptor that is now being pursued, we believe, by the agency that whose city he just drove through in the upper San Gabriel Valley. The good thing here, as you're seeing, the streets pretty much deserted. That's good news. The fewer people that are out, the less likelihood of a collision. And we'll continue.
And he is now.
Go ahead.
He is now in Pasadena, so it's a larger jurisdiction with more resources, traveling through more of these red lights, just blowing right through them. But will he get the attention of Pasadena PD? That's what I'm wondering. They also have their own airship on standby as well. So if they decide to get involved here, we may very well see them light him up here. But it almost reminds me of if our viewers have ever played Need for Speed, where you're just kind of traveling on this endless joyride through various jurisdictions, and 1 minute you're in hot pursuit, and the next minute things cool down, and you just enjoy the joyride. He's kind of been doing that all night long. You'll see flashing lights behind him 1 minute, the next minute he's just off into the night. The one thing that's been pretty consistent is the airship overhead. Whether they light him up or whether they've just been tracking him, the airship has been monitoring his movements, and that seems to be the consensus. Let the airship do the work and not put additional lives in danger at the speeds he's been traveling at, especially considering that his lights are off. The vehicle is blacked out, no headlights, no taillights. If he continues blowing through those red lights, somebody's going to get killed. In fact, he has barely even been braking as he approaches these major intersections. And so it's been really, heart-stopping at times, except the lucky thing is that there really has not been much traffic this evening. It's been he's chosen the quietest roads in each and every town he's traveled through here. And again, the airship has really been doing most of the work. But as you can see in this shot right here, it is a very hazy, moist night that is proving to be a little bit of a challenge, and it would not surprise me if even the airship eventually pulls off here. I'm almost surprised that they've been following him as long as they have. There have been 3 different airships, Mark, that have rotated out between LAPD, California Highway Patrol. At one point, the Sheriff's Department was on the way out here, but I think the last time we saw that night sun on him, it was indeed a new LAPD airship trying to track his movements. And as I mentioned, Pasadena most likely monitoring this as well as he comes up on the freeway here. We are in a holding pattern ourselves because it is difficult, very difficult, to see more than 100 or a couple hundred feet in front of us. So that's going to prove to be very difficult for law enforcement down below. Busy air traffic up here with a lot of helicopters trying to find this guy. And now it looks like for the time being, you can see we're quite a distance here, and it looks like he may be it may be his lucky night, although that airship still seems to be tracking something.
Yeah, we are limited, of course, by visibility, and if it gets a little foggy, a little hazy up there, especially at night, safety is, of course, the main concern here for everyone. And so we may not be able to continue with this. The question then becomes what the parameters are for that law enforcement helicopter. We believe it's LAPD. Not sure if it still is. We did see one earlier that is up above. And yeah, there he is. This is still Pasadena.
It looks like still Pasadena, northbound Altadena Drive. And it does sound like the airship is going to give it up. So the airship is now pulling out. He is driving away. And you can see just how pitch black it is down there. If we even catch a glimpse, it'll be through some of these trees here. But for the most part, it looks like I think he's going to get away with this one, Mark.
All right. Well, Chris Christie in Air 7. We're going to keep an eye on this, and if we re-engage, we will certainly come back to you, but it appears he has disappeared into the night, and maybe, as you said, it may have been his lucky day. We will see. Moving on to other news, of course, the attack in Iran, day 5 of the war with Iran and the deadly conflict now spreading thousands of miles.
I'm good. You? Yeah.
Get out of this vehicle, but it
This. Oh, this was today.
Let's at this point right now. We don't see police officers right
Oh my
behind them,
God.
Colleen, but this is an area maybe we saw them in Commerce, trying to figure out
Right.
exactly where they are, but it could be
Going
East
back on
LA,
the freeway.
and now it does look like they're about to head back on the freeway.
Yeah, and Philip, I think you said it at the beginning of this breaking news. They were wanted for a failure to yield. So that's it seems like a nothing sort of routine police stop, but as we know, many times a routine traffic stop turns into something quite dangerous, and this is certainly proving to be the case. But that white car, it is cooking. It is going so fast, exceeding all the speed limits right there. And it is remarkable. We do not see the CHP yet, but maybe they're in tracking mode as well.
Well, this started on the 710 in the San Gabriel Valley. It moved on to the 5 freeway. And again, there we've picked it up again. Quickly left the freeway. It doesn't look like there's any damage to the vehicle, but you can notice moving lane to lane, it's come very close to hitting vehicles. We saw him get off the freeway almost as if he was searching for something. We do not know at this point how many people are in the vehicle, but we again are on the 710. Does look like we are going northbound. And as we all know, the 710 is eventually going to run out of room. So we're not sure exactly how far he's going to go before having to exit again.
Right.
So we're into the San Gabriel Valley, now moving off over into the shoulder, and we're moving up past the 10 there. So trying to avoid some of the congestion. Looked like he was about to get off on the 10 there, but moved over. We don't know if this was a stolen car, if maybe they picked up that as a stolen car. Don't know if it was a traffic stop that they wanted, but we do know that officers tried to pull this vehicle over at some point, and it was a failure to yield that started this pursuit.
Yeah, and a moment ago I said I didn't see CHP. I did end up seeing a CHP motorcycle police officer. So again, we know that law enforcement knows the suspect, where they're located, but again, we're not necessarily seeing CHP in pursuit of this vehicle. And again, they're making remarkable progress on the roads because there was a lot of extra congestion today. Thursday mornings tend to be full of traffic. And look at this.
Now we've gone to the area
right
where he has run out of freeway. So now you're going through an intersection.
God.
The 710 has ended.
You
So now
don't
he's
give
going
a
to end up in
fuck.
South
Oh
Pasadena,
my God.
And this is Surface Street. So we're going to find out if this person is familiar with this part of the area. Looks like our SkyMap 7 has Westmont and Front Street. Now we're going down a side street. Could be another situation where we saw a moment ago where he just did a U-turn and then started going into another different direction. And that's exactly what he's gone here again.
Jesus.
This is apparently unfamiliar territory for this driver. This is the kind of dangerous driving you don't want in a neighborhood, driving without familiarity to this space and clearly driving at a speed that is not safe for this part of the area. Going through a stop sign again, and it's as if he's trying to head back to the freeway because that was where he was a moment ago, and maybe he didn't even know that the 710 came to a close. Don't know if he was familiar with that part of town.
No kidding. And you can see right there, Philip, the windows are so heavily tinted. I thought he was going to smack right into those parked cars. The windows are really tinted. So again, we don't know if there's any other occupants in this car. And these drivers, they are completely unaware that this car is being pursued. They just see a car that is cooking, flying, look at right on the other side of the road, putting so many lives in danger right now.
And he has not even, the one thing that makes this more dangerous is he's driving into oncoming traffic and he's not even slowing down into these intersections. But now here we go. He did do exactly what we thought. He left the freeway just as he's done before.
Oh my God.
Turned around, and now he's getting back, and it looks like he's going to be going southbound on the 710. He left the freeway, drove into that neighborhood, made a U-turn, got back on. But like you mentioned a moment ago, Colleen, no CHP officers that we've seen directly behind him, but he has really been driving recklessly at high rates of speed, even without seeing the officers directly behind him. And that's very troubling when you think about this type of driving.
Well, this is one of those times where you wonder, are they monitoring the media? Are they finding out that they are being actually pursued? Because I would think that usually, Philip, you know, most of the time these people, when they find out that they're not, they see nobody chasing them, they ease off on the gas pedal. They drive much more safely. But this driver is going, you can see SkyMap 7 is clocking this driver. I think I just saw 98 miles an hour. So well above the speed limit, putting so many and going onto the shoulder right there. Getting a little squirrely, I think. We're going to, hopefully the person doesn't crash right there because again, it is very dangerous, high rate of speed. We know the CHP, we know law enforcement are very well aware of this person, but they have not shown up in force behind them to put that extra heat on them.
And again, you know, high rates of speed. I don't know if that miles per hour that you're seeing there on the screen is accurate, but certainly he's in the neighborhood of 100 miles an hour or so. Because you look at the lack of people on the freeway, and he is just completely moving through. So again, this is southbound, so he'll have some freeway to choose from here. That 710 North clearly ends in South Pasadena, but now that's another move that he has done several times. He will use that off ramp to use as a passing lane almost, and then he'll get back onto the freeway. And he has just gone several lanes of traffic over and back, and he is not showing any signs of concern for any other people on the road. And that is what's making this so dangerous, because if somebody is making just a proper lane change, he'll run up on them. He's coming up on the 5 intersection here. This is a section where many people will take this 710 to, you know, move around traffic that's on the 5, and then they'll get back onto the 5. So that gets really congested there. But it looks like he's going to stay on the 710, and that gets really gummy right in there. So he is just navigating around that. Looks like he'll continue there onto the 710.
Can't really tell if he does know this area very well, because he does stay on the 710. We have seen the suspect. It does look like he's a male in driving. But again, look at that. I mean, I'm amazed that he just crossed over so many lines and went on uneven pavement as well. So this driver, it leads me to believe that this is probably their vehicle, because they are driving it really with the agility, which is incredible.
Well, Bruce Thomas is on the phone with us now, and we can kind of get
What is going on?
an idea as to what, as we see his person navigate these lanes recklessly. This is going to be a dangerous spot here, moving through traffic, and you see people being forced into off ramps. So he's leaving the road here. But Bruce, when you see CHP not directly behind him, possibly they might be following this from above. Again, this guy's pulling into traffic, no total disregard. What's CHP going to do when you see this kind of reckless driving, and they're just basically monitoring?
CHP is going to back off. The risk to the public, to the suspect, to the officers is just too great. The speeds are way too high. So by backing off, hopefully that sends a message to the suspect that, hey, I'm not being chased anymore, so I can slow down and I can, just kind of calm down.
Yeah, and Bruce, you kind of called out, and we then got an email update from our news desk saying that the ground units have been called off, and they do have their airship that's obviously tracking this. But again, I think that they have to monitor this really closely, and a lot of decision making goes into whether to employ the ground troops, or again, trying to see how this cat and mouse game on what safety to the public, what this person's wanted for. But it was a failure to yield. That was the original want. So doesn't that lead you to believe that they're obviously wanting to get away for unknown reasons?
Yeah, we have a failure to yield, and my understanding is that it's a possible stolen vehicle. And what's even more dangerous is that the driver inside was possibly doing some sort of narcotics, as they had a view of that. So those are just things that just pile on to make it more difficult for law enforcement.
Well, Bruce, while you're with us, it does look, and most of our viewers are going to realize this as well, that we might have even lost the vehicle. And there are times, as you look at East Washington there, it might be East Los Angeles area that we're in. He was heading southbound on the 710 and kind of went under one of the overpasses. But if we're having a hard time keeping up with him, sometimes the airships are as well. They're flying at a lower altitude than us, so sometimes they can keep up with him. This is earlier that you're seeing there on the right as we try to re-engage. But, the thing I was noticing, Bruce, is that it didn't matter that the officers were right behind him or not right behind him. This person was driving recklessly regardless. So at times, don't you need to engage just to get this kind of person off the roadway?
That's correct. I mean, that's one of the things that they weighed, the safety to get this person, as you said, off the roadway for the safety of everybody, the general public. However, also they have to weigh what's the crime. And in this case, you have possibly taken a vehicle without the owner's consent, which is a misdemeanor, plus the reckless driving, the pursuit charges. They're all misdemeanors. So does that outweigh the danger?
Ooh, now the driver's going into a gas station right there. You can see the Shell gas station on East 57th and Atlantic Boulevard. We can't see them, so they're being shielded by that the little canopy over there. So not exactly sure what's happening inside there. But again, we saw him get dangerously close to getting into a wreck a moment ago, Philip.
No, that's East 57th and Atlantic Boulevard. Okay, so he's pulling out again. I was going to ask Bruce if they would engage at that point if this person stopped and filled up gas and took off again. But we almost saw another one of those accidents. So Bruce, in the circumstance where this person were to get in an accident, we see him run through a stop sign right there, because it's possible. Are officers going to swoop in fairly quickly? I mean, they're likely still monitoring this person's behavior, right?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's correct. And they are in the area under mutual aid. Other
News special report.
And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips once again with a major update on that situation in West Bloomfield, Michigan. I want to get right to our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, where we have confirmed that the man.
I don't give a fuck about that. Go accident card change. I don't think so. Yes, there is.
Yeah, some.
There is. My bad.
There's a lot.
Oh my god. Oh my god. No. Oh, jeez. You should really get the bed here. Hello? Okay, that's interesting.
Why is your camera making it?
No, it's the video. It's not the camera, Chloe.
Then why is it making it?
I don't know, Chloe. If I knew, I would tell you.
Driving, you saw him hit a couple of dips on the road, and it almost looked as if he was losing control of his car, Colleen.
Yeah, you know what? Again, Philip, I'm amazed. And I think, Bruce Thomas, I'm not sure if you're still there. But again, we don't know. You said it might be a possible stolen vehicle. We're seeing this suspect now pull up to a residence. We're not sure. And they're getting out of the car. We don't know if they're from this area. And there's a little dog that just ran out. So it's making me believe that this is his home because he just pet the dog's little head. So I'm not quite sure. Bruce Thomas, are you still joining us right now?
Yeah, I am, and I'm seeing what you're seeing, where he just pulled into that residence, and he's now going inside the residence. And if it is a friendly residence, that creates another problem for law enforcement, because now he could possibly barricade himself in our family member's home. Are they going to turn him over? Are they going to rationalize with him to give himself up?
Somebody's just left the back.
I don't know if that. I don't think that's the driver. I don't know.
No, I'm saying somebody might have left the back door. But Bruce, we also saw him throw a canister of some sort out the window. Now I can't remember. I don't remember if we actually saw that on the air, but during our monitor in here in the studio, it almost appeared as if he threw a canister. You remember you were saying that you saw possibly some sort of usage of something, and it could have been huffing. He might have been doing something like that. We don't want to overly speculate, but we've seen that in chases before, and he did throw something out of the window. Now, the question is, he's in a home with a gate pulled. Would officers now barricade this place, or are the charges not such that they would do that? Or how would you approach this at this point?
Yeah, Philip, that was a great observation. I saw the same thing you did. He pulls in, and now they've closed the gate behind him, which makes me believe that these are friendlies. So law enforcement may have to actually get a search warrant to go in and seize him and whatever evidence he threw on that property.
Yeah, I actually think it was an electric gate that opened up, and then because he ran in and then it was closing. There wasn't someone right behind him who was closing it. So again, it leads me to believe that this may be his property. But again, we don't know. That suspect did get out of the vehicle. Didn't we see him get out of the vehicle? Because then we saw somebody else behind the vehicle, behind the house.
And if he opened the gate and shut the gate, that would lead me to believe that it's not a stolen vehicle.
Right.
So he probably lives there, which would lead officers to know who lives there, which again, like Bruce is saying, means that you likely only have a failure. You're back to square one, Bruce, where you've got failure to yield. You've got a litany of traffic violations, but again, at what level do they rise? Do you have a felony anywhere within this? I suppose, does the chase rise to a felony?
No, it's just a failure to yield, reckless driving. We didn't see any accidents or anybody get hurt because of his driving. So we have all misdemeanors, which means basically they may do a consent to see if they can come on the property, whoever owns it, has title and stature to the property, and see if this person's inside. The other thing, too, is what good visual did they have of the suspect? We saw him wearing
Oh, here comes the police. Oh boy, this should be good.
hoodie type thing. Did he change clothes? Has he changed his appearance?
Well, we do see police now showing up, so it does look as if this is going to be a situation that is going to be long playing, and we are going to probably have to wait and see on what the result of this will be.
Yeah. And stay with us. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Oh, that sound again. Fuck that sound, man. That sounds so annoying. I know, it's annoying. Oh my god, what is going? Then shut it, I don't care. You should be in bed. It's 9:15, you should be in bed. Of course. Oh, Jesus. I'm turning this off. Jesus, that's annoying. I'm sorry. Okay.
Brenda!
Oh my god.
Enforcement is surrounding the house. We do not know if that suspect is going to give himself up. But again,
It's a bit of a standoff. We'll follow it, have later editions of Eyewitness News to get.
Tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures in Ojai. Temperatures at 88 in Ojai.
My god. Dude, what the hell, man? You should really get to bed. They get him yet? Jeez. Yeah, we're good. Damn it, guys. Fuck is he? What the fuck? Is he just gonna hide out in there? What the hell? What is... Fuck is he? Oh, jeez.
Did they get him or no? Doesn't look like they do. Well, that was a boring chase, but okay, whatever. I'm gonna hop off here. Um, yeah, I think they gave up. Yep, they gave up. Alright, guys. Um, okay, guys. I'm gonna hop off here.